Hey, how you doing? So my uncle visited several weeks ago, and we talked about how my aunt kept a tidy house. She didn't like clutter and kept things cleaned up. It was said my uncle couldn't have many things, although in one house he did have some things in a basement. As I look around at 50 years of possessions that we have filled a house in that we've lived in for 17 years, I'm left wondering about that mindset. I don't think that mindset is a minimalist mindset that we've heard about a lot today. I think that's just one way that it used to be for people once upon a time. If you were a homemaker, you probably got tired of picking up all the crap and found your days easier if you were just proactive. In my office, I have a large box of pens, right? It was a 2018 Christmas present. See, I used to regularly complain that I couldn't find a working pen anywhere. So to shut me up, one year they gave me this big giant box of pens. In the 2 years since, we haven't even used a quarter of these pens, which tells me this box of pens is probably going to last about 10 years. Now, I can't imagine my aunt would have a 10-year supply of pens in her house. Now, I imagine the philosophy was buy only what you need, use it, and then discard it when you're done. That's interesting. I imagine if we consistently did the dishes, for example, every day, we would need to have a drawer that was stuffed with silverware to get us through to the lean periods. If we had a super efficient laundry, folding, put away system, I would need a drawer filled with socks. As I look around the house, I find stockpiles of all sorts of things that have been built up under the fear that we might run out of something. I guess that's why we have 8 boxes of pasta in the pantry. Not everything we have is a result of stockpiling. Some possessions are the result of good ideas that went bad. Like the green machine in the hall closet. We bought a green machine to clean up the kids' messes until we learned it was harder to clean the green machine than it was to just clean the messes without using it. Same thing with my Wagner paint sprayer, now that I think about it. And the outdoor bug zapper, it gets all filled with bugs. It's just. Anyways, other collections are the just in case possessions. So I have a box of ceiling tiles down in the basement just in case one of my ceiling tiles gets damaged and needs to be replaced. I have this jar of screws. In fact, I've got many jars of screws, if I'm honest with you. But I have that, computer parts, spools of wire, all just in case I might need one of those. I also have those clothes from when I was 30 pounds lighter. And I have old shoes, just in case I'm going to paint. I might want to use an old pair of shoes instead of my good ones. But then there's also the variety collection. So we have to have a variety of different things. We can't have just, one of each item. So like my soldering irons here, right? So typical soldering iron, it's the stick version, right? Well, sometimes I prefer the gun version. I don't do a heck of a lot of soldering anymore, to be honest with you, but sometimes I want to use the stick, sometimes I want to use the gun, and then sometimes I don't want to plug in, so I got this one here. It's battery operated, and it's the point is I got 3 soldering irons. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I also have 4 kitchen flippers, right? So I've got the non-stick silicone, because sometimes you need a silicone one. I got one for omelets here. This is really good. It works great if you're making an omelet. I've got this one for the grill, right? It's got to be like heavy duty one. And then I got this plastic one here. This one works really good if I'm going for pie, right? You got to scoop a piece of pie out of there. So I guess 3 spatulas, 3 flippers are okay to have. I don't know. I mean, back in Pioneers days, I bet they only had one, and it was a multi-purpose one, right? You flipped your omelet and scraped the paint off the wall and did everything else you needed it to do, I suppose. They didn't have 4 different ones. Oh, let's see, what else do I have? I've got tons of screwdrivers hanging on my wood shop wall. I got every size and kind of screwdriver you can imagine. And then I even have multiples of the same screwdriver because I really don't know why I have multiples of the same screwdriver. In case I lose one or something. But they're all hanging on the wall, so anyways. So I got plenty of those screwdrivers, and don't even ask how many whisks I have. I mean, don't. Okay, you're asking. Okay, fine. Well, I've got this little plastic one, which was good, and then I got a big plastic one because sometimes you need a little one, and other times you need a big one, and then I got this one. It's kind of wrapped in the silicone, so that's so you're not going to scratch up your pans and stuff. But sometimes you really do need metal, so you can get down in there and you can just go at it, right? And then this one here, it's got a little springy thing on the end, so you can. Yeah, I got quite a few whisks, I suppose. But sometimes you need a variety of the same thing, right? So you have lots of possessions, lots of different varieties of the same thing, right? Well, then there's other things that we have as well. So the next pile, I'm trying to think off my top of my head. What else the different piles that we have? There's one that what do I do with this stuff, right? It's stuff that I really don't have a use for, but it'd be a shame to throw it away. Like all those paper grocery bags that we're getting now that they outlawed plastic ones. What am I going to do with all these? I've got tons and tons of paper bags. Am I just going to throw them away? I suppose I could, but what a shame. Throw away all those paper bags. I mean, the plastic ones, I used them for garbage, or I could take them back to the grocery store so they could be reused, or the paper ones, I just don't know. And then kid art. Kid art used to fall in this category until I started taking pictures of them, and then I was able to throw away all the kid art. I got a 2018 calendar that I've never opened, but it's like brand new. I've never opened it, so it'd be a shame to throw that away, right? I don't know, but it's 2018. And then this thing, which is kind of cool. This is a Rubik's Cube pen, right? So you can slide the little colors around, turn around, mess it all up, and then try to put it back together. It's completely useless, right? Because the pen part is all dried up. It doesn't work anymore. But I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I can't sell this. Nobody's going to pay anything for something like this, right? So wouldn't it be a shame just to throw it away? It's kind of cool, right? So you got that pile, all the stuff that. What do I do with this? The next pile is all the mementos, right? Your high school yearbooks, your baby's first shoes, the torn ticket stub from the concert I went to 15 years ago. And if I'm not careful, everything becomes a memento. Like that odd-shaped soda can from a trip to Canada in 1995. Yep, I have that. And this mug. There it is. This mug I got 40 years ago at the state fair. You know, this is the first I've seen this mug in 15 years, because it was 15 years ago that I took it out from the back of a cupboard to move it into the back of another cupboard. I don't know why I have this, but it's a memento, right? Hey, I went to the state fair. It reminds me of that. It's a bit dusty. So the contents of this mug bring me to the next selection of stuff that we have. And that is, hey, it's going to be worth something someday, right? Here's a whole bunch of coins. really old coins. You probably can't see them very well. I can't show them very well. But anyways, old coins are gonna be worth something someday, right? So that's a possession. You want to keep that. Um, and then here's a football card, right? This is a 1991 football card. This might be worth 50 cents someday. I might need that 50 cents, so I better hold on to this one. So we have a whole bunch of stuff that someday it might be worth something. I'll just keep it. The reality is most of the stuff doesn't amount up to be anything. But what the heck? I'm holding on to that, especially the football card. Final area of my possessions that I can think of is I'm trying to separate them all out in my mind. That's the things that bring me joy. You might be familiar with Marie Kondo's method, where you look at everything and you decide, does this bring me joy? If it doesn't bring you joy, you just pitch it, right? You say, thank you for all you've done for me. Goodbye. And you just get rid of it. It's kind of like this, here we go, this Mickey Mouse magnet. It reminds me of Disney World. So I keep it on my shelf at work. It brings me joy. So that's all the different kinds of collections of stuff that we have, and it's kind of funny. There's a place here in town, we call it the Barns, right? And the owner of the Barns goes around, and when somebody passes away, they buy up the estate. They buy, the family gets together, they pick over whatever they want and what's left over, which is most of the stuff, because everybody's house is already too full to take more stuff. He comes in and he offers $10, and then he hauls it out. And he takes it to his barns, and once or twice a year he opens up the barns and people can come in and buy it. And the truth is that you walk through there and you see all these things that people have collected and kept and treasured their entire life, and thought, this is something special right here. And you go and you find it at the barns for 10 cents. And the truth is, at the end of the barn sale, whatever doesn't sell goes in the dumpster. So all that stuff that you're treasuring, that you think is valuable, when you're gone, it's just going to go to the barns and then probably end up over in their dumpster. That's the reality of it. I mean, if I'm reminded of the story when they were building the Panama Canal, they had trouble getting workers to come and work, so the story goes. They were paying them fairly well. But the workers would come and get one day's wage, and that was more money than they had ever seen in their entire life. It was enough money to last them forever. So they would work one day and never come back. So the people building the Panama Canal were troubled by this. And how could they get people to keep coming back? So what they did was they started handing out the Sears Roebuck catalog. And now people in Panama could flip through the catalog and see all the different things that they never knew they needed. And guess what? They started showing up to work every single day so they could get the money to buy the things they didn't need. Well, truth of it is, we've got a lot of things that we don't need. And a move, like the move we're making to Florida, well, now we've got to go through it all and make some hard decisions. And so we're slowly chipping away at it, getting it narrowed down little bit, so that we can get it to a reasonable pile that we can take with us.